All right. You're recording to my cloud. See, told you it was that kind of day. Um, welcome. Did everybody get the video email from James and Keith today? Check your email, get a video email from two of the big dog corporate guys, James and Keith. Thumbs up, thumbs down, yes, no, maybe. Um, Pretty big news. So I heard about it yesterday, and they said that they were going to let the agents know today. And what they have done is they have promoted Keith Robinson to co-CEO. So our company now has two CEOs, which is pretty rare. But James and Keith work very, very closely together for years and years and years. They both bring a certain skill set to well, they both have all the skills, but they have a specialty skill set in different directions. And so essentially, operationally and strategically, um, Keith will be the driver of the company, and then um, sales and growth wise, James will be the driver of the company, was what I got out of that. And that suits their particular skill sets very, very well. Um, the reason for that is, if you saw it, then you'll know. But I'll say it again anyways. Is they have they have started on a plan. Alan, there are two of you. Look at that. There's two Allens. Wow. I mean, one Allen in the world is enough, but now there's two at this meeting. He doesn't know he's muted. He's just talking crap. So, back to what I was saying. NextHome has launched, a 5-year plan, 60-month plan to double the size of the company, um, which I think is amazing. It's really interesting that we're running parallel on a couple of things. So, obviously, these plans were in place when I was talking to some people in the corporate world about our local level comp plan and our rev share plan and wanting to increase market share. And they were like, yeah. We're gonna help you figure this out real quick, and you should know that we're talking about this. And one of our main concerns at the local level was, if we do this, the most important thing to us is to be able to maintain our culture and not turn into other kinds of brokerage places. What was interesting to me was when they had their video today and said, we want to double the size of NextHome in the next 5 years. Um, the first thing that was mentioned again was the most important thing to them was to maintain the culture of NextHome, and not be like other brokerages, other real estate brokerages. Um, that is such a really big deal to me, and it should be to you. Uh, you've probably heard from me at some point that before I ended up here, uh, over the 20 years or so before I ended up here, I had been courted and asked to open brokerages or establish brokerage houses for, pick a name, all of them at one point in time or another. And my answer was always absolutely not. uh, and the main thing that changed my mind about being here was that the culture was completely different. It was not corporate gross. Uh, I appreciated their mission. I appreciated their ideas. I appreciated where they spent their money and how they spent their money. And so it made a lot of sense to me. It would be horrible if that was to go away and we were just like everybody else. That would be absolutely horrible. So I'm really, really glad that they mentioned that. Their expansion plan is aggressive. It's huge. To double the size of the company in 5 years is a huge undertaking, but I'm sure they'll be able to do it. And I'm really, really excited about it. And you're probably wondering, well, what does that mean for us? And the reason I'm so excited about it is what it means for us is probably all good things. And I'll tell you why. This is not, I have not heard this directly from any of them. Okay. But this is my best guess, and I know I'm right because I know them. If they want to make an expansive, aggressive expansion like that, and if they want to add that many offices and that many agents in that amount of time, the way that they will do that is the way that they have always done it. And that is they will take the company and what the company offers people and they'll blow it up. Does that have to do with compensation? Yeah, probably. I mean, that's what we did with compensation. And I know they're on the same page with it as far as taking it to other branches and other parts of the company. More on that in a minute. But it also, more importantly, has to do with agent features, agent benefits, tech, the design stuff, you know, everything that we need and that we use in our business every day. They're going, as good as it is now, it's about to get better and more comprehensive because that's how they roll, right? When they first started NextHome, their claim to fame was, we're going to give you all the stuff that you need and we're going to make it really affordable for you to be able to access it. That's how they got started. That's how they picked up momentum in a nutshell. Also, culture, you know, really, really important. They wanted to create something different that people could kind of resonate with. But in order for them to grow and expand, they will focus most of their energy, I promise you, most of their energy on expanding what we have at our resource to go out and sell real estate. So I know that's how they behave. I know that's what they go to. I know that's their strategy. It always has been. And this is going to be a huge, huge plus for people that are already in the company because you're just going to get more and more stuff, or the stuff that you have is going to get better and better and better. And the syndication is going to get better, better, better because that is what they will always lean on. They will always lean on the fact that we give agents everything they need and nothing they don't. And we put them in the best position to succeed. So there's a lot of exciting stuff about, you know, the expansion of the company and what that brings and what that does for us. But the most exciting part for us should be and is we're probably on the edge of a complete exponential technological explosion as far as agent product stuff goes. And that is really, really cool. Really, really cool. As good as all of our stuff is now, I mean, they'll spend money to make it better, right? Lots of brokerages run KV Core as an example. Lots of organizations run KV Core, but nobody runs the KV Core that we run because they've spent, you know, millions of dollars to make sure that our KV Core is better than everybody else's. So that's just how they do it. It's how they've always done it. So it means a lot for us. Any questions on that or thoughts around that expansion? Keep in mind that it took 9 years to get to the point where we are right now. Okay. So let's say we're at 100 right now. That took 9 years to develop. Took 9 years to develop 100. They want to go from 100 to 200 in 5. So half the time. And the second phase of growth is always harder than the first phase of growth, as you know. So pretty exciting, pretty big deal. 2 CEOs, lots of good stuff. I think a lot about both of those guys. They're 2 of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. So anybody want to have questions or have something to add about that or concerns or anything that we should talk about? Or are you just all in, all good, all day? Good. All right. So let's take it back down to the local level for a minute. I think I told you when we had our rev share launch the other night, I think everybody here was here. But when we had our rev share launch the other night, that number one, we were the first branch or brokerage in the entire company to do this. And number two, that they were talking about this and other variations of this at the corporate level, so that when we all went to the owners meeting uh, next year, that they would be suggesting that this is the direction they want to go. So I said, it kind of feels like we're like a test batch, right? Our rev share program kind of feels like we're the test batch for the company. And I kind of said that tongue in cheek, like there was never any mention of that. That there was never any discussion around that. I just felt like based on our conversation, that's the way it was going to go. Well, this morning I got the email that confirmed we're the test batch because it said, yeah, and that was my statement exactly, Michael. Well, shit, I really stepped in it this time. So, the email was, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? Would you mind um, building a spreadsheet and tracking all the phone calls you make and all the appointments you have and how many people you hire after the rev share thing? And we can crunch all those numbers to talk about conversion and blah 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 blah. And oh, by the way, could you do it for like 90 or 120 days? And then we'll crunch all those numbers and share them at Summit." And my first reaction was absolutely not. Like, no, I don't want to do that at all. Like I just don't. I don't like being told what to do.
You're
I
gonna
don't.
send me some admin for that or what? Right?
No, yeah, no. Yeah, no. I don't like being micromanaged. I don't like that. And then I thought, on the other hand, after I calmed down a little bit, that yeah, I could do with some accountability. Like, I don't think accountability really hurts anybody if it's coming from a good place. Um, I probably perform better under pressure than I do not. So, yeah, why not? So, why am I telling you guys this? Well, one of the things that they wanted to track was agent referrals and how that goes compared to organic recruiting and how that goes, right? Obviously, that's really, really new for us. And so we don't know how it's going to go. So here's what I would ask. In the launch meeting, I said, well, I don't give a shit if you do it or not. Like, I really don't care. Do it, don't do it, whatever. So I'm going to modify that slightly and say that just so I can give them a number sampling, if you could have the goal as agents, the goal of referring one person in the next 90 days, just one person for me to interview, that will give us, a 17 body data pool. If everybody in the company refers one person, we're talking about 17, 18 people, 17 or 18 pieces of data that I can add to the spreadsheet and they can consolidate and give them something to talk about. That's it. So if you could refer just one in 120 days, I would be extremely grateful. And I'm only asking you this because, um, I mean, if I was you, I would do it as a matter of practice because if I was you, I would want to kind of have that going on. I would not by any means make it my main focus of business ever, ever, ever. But whenever I did a transaction with an agent, or whenever I ran into an agent at PCAR, or whenever I ran into an agent at the grocery store, you best believe that I would be saying, "Hey, we got some good things going on. You ought to talk to Damian. Have a good day." Gone, right? Um, because why not? But I'm not asking you to do this because I want you to have that attitude or adopt that attitude or have that vibe about you or have that as part of your business plan. I'm asking you to do this because I would really like to be able to give these people some data around that rather than zero data around that. Like I said before, I have a lot of respect for these guys. I really, really like what they do. And if we can, as a group, if we can help provide some information that might be valuable or insightful to other people in the company, again, that's just our culture, right? That's who we are. Um, how many of you have ever spent any time in the NextHome members Facebook groups or anything like that? Anybody gone there and just scrolled around? You should. If for nothing else, just to see how they interact, right? This is Our company is different than any other real estate company I've ever seen. Okay. If you go put something in that group or you go trolling for a question in that group, people will step up and help you. People will step up and like work for you. You know, there was an owner the other day that put something in that said, I've been working for like 2 months on this really, really detailed spreadsheet and it's not working right. And I don't have any idea why. And I can't figure it out. Who wants to help me? And like, it wasn't me, but 5 owners were like, yep, send it over. I'll take a look. Right. That doesn't happen anywhere else. So if we can help, that would be great. If you can make a goal, it spoiler alert, if you don't refer anybody, I'm not going to be mad or, not going to think anything different about you. But, if you could make a goal to help with that, I would really, really appreciate it. And again, we're trying to do it to help out the company and give them some data. And I mean, hell, it might make you some extra money too. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So any questions about that or comments about that? Do you love being the guinea pig? I guess you guys aren't really the guinea pig. You can hide. I can't. I can't hide from Jim. No? All right. Let's talk about February 15th to get it out of the way. So was about November, October, something like that. I said, don't worry, everybody. By February 15th, this thing's going to explode. You're all going to have a transaction. It's going to be great. It's going to be a whole new world. Everything's going to be awesome. We'll have forgotten about the nightmare that was 2024. There'll be nothing but green pastures and blue skies ahead. All right. Didn't really work that way. Or did it? See, when I first started thinking about it, I thought, man, I really missed it. Like, I mean, I really missed it big time. But then I started thinking a little bit more, and this is kind of getting the cart ahead of the horse, but because I wanted to wait till the end of the month, I want to give you some highlights real quick about the month of February. Alan closes 2 deals, Brianna closes 1 deal, Michael's about to put one in contract, and Jessica's got her first listing. So did I really miss it? I mean, I know it doesn't feel like, hey, everything is okay now, like I really thought it would. Okay. But did I really miss it? Maybe not. Maybe it's not as awesome as I thought it would be, and everybody's not doing cartwheels and like we've got nothing else to worry about. But you can't really argue with one, two, 3 closings, 1 contract, and 1 listing in a month. I mean, we haven't had 3 closings, a contract, and a listing in 1 month since 2023, maybe 2022. So maybe things are improving, but it's just not to the degree that I thought it would be. Maybe the overall attitude in the world is just not at the level that I thought it would be. Let's dig a little deeper. There are more listings on market than there have been in the past probably 13 months. Inventory is increasing. Okay. Who follows Ryan Lundquist, the real estate appraiser, on social? If you don't, please make sure that you do. This guy is amazing. He's a freaking Rain Man of appraisal. Okay. He put out a graphic and some data about a week ago that says in our primary counties, that would be Placer, Sac, Yolo, El Dorado, Nevada, the number of pending transactions has actually increased. year over year comparison. Listings have increased. Yes. Days on market total has increased overall. That's bad, right? Percentage of properties sold over list price, always a real good indicator. In other words, multiple offers over asking price, slight increase. Two kinds of properties on market, the ones that sell in 7 days or less and those that don't. All right. So where are we? We've got more activity in the office in 1 month than we've had in probably 14 months. Ryan Lundquist has got some really good data out saying, yes, listings are increasing. The number of properties sold over list price is increasing. The days on market overall are stretching, but there's still a great number of properties selling in the first week or so on market. What's really going on? Anybody want to wager on where we are versus where we were, say, summer 2024, where we're going and what all of that crap means and what the real hold up to everything exploding is today? That's where you guys get to talk. Don't make me do it all. You do have the power to unmute yourself.
I think
Oops.
you muted me again.
I didn't mean to.
I think buyers are coming to terms with the fact that we're just not going to get back to under 3%. It's just not going to happen.
Yep.
And, you know, you can only put your life on hold for so long.
Yep.
Same with sellers.
Yep. I think you're right. I think that there is a segment of buyers that is like, well, this is what it is now. We're not going to have a 2.99 interest rate again. Might as well act. And I think that sellers are like, well, can't get $1.5 million for my house anymore. I might have to settle for 800.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is happening. Yes. Agreed. What else? Who else? Why has it not exploded batshit crazy like I said it would?
I hate to talk, Damian, but I said this before. We got another 6 months before that happens.
I agree, but why?
Because we got a bunch of buyers there that can't afford overpriced houses. It was this way in the 70s. You know, that's why we ended up with all these condos and apartments people bought in the city because they couldn't afford housing.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing that again. That's where we're at. It's just the bottom line. Labor inflation is catching up with our material inflation. Once they both match, price is going to stay flat right where they're at. Then we'll catch up in another 6 months. Hopefully prices starts dropping a little bit. But from here, from today to the next 6 months, we're going to see a lot more desperate listings.
Mm-hmm.
People desperate to sell, and people saying, I can't sell it for less of that because I won't have nowhere else to go. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
kind of a hard market because you have what I call false bogus listings out there. You take the listings to make the client happy. Yeah, we can get that. And then I got one of those. And then you got to lower the price in 6 months when they want to cancel the listings. We were there in the 80s. We were there in the 80s, man. So we're there again. You just can't do anything about it. We just ride the ride.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm picking up what you're laying down. You're absolutely right. But the question is why? And the answer is, to summarize everything that you're saying, is affordability, right? Like,
Right.
because the rate is at 7 again, that affects the buyer's overall ability to purchase and limits the price that they can do it at. So
That's a small part of it.
instead of 575,000, they can only do 500,000. The other half of the equation is, although I think a lot of sellers are coming to Jesus, most still are not, right? Those are your false listings. They're your listings that are overpriced. They're not priced appropriately. Number one, they're unaffordable. Number two, And so they sit. So that gives us a kind of polluted measure of how the market's doing, because really we should take all of those listings off market to understand what's really going on, right? And we can't. So
And we should look at the solds. You know, the bottom line is we got a lot of listings, but they're not selling.
but
You
here's
know?
where I would challenge your thinking, Alan, and this is what is really, really curious to me. We do have a lot of solds. Those sold sell in 7 days or less.
Priced right.
Yeah, priced right, meaning that there is this pool of demand out there that's ready to go.
100%.
If it's priced right and I like it, I'm buying it. And I mean now. And I'm not going to dicker with you on price. I'm just going to buy it. So really we're half a step away in either direction from really going nuts. And I think things being a lot better. A couple of things could happen. Affordability could increase because we could get, I'm talking 1%. I'm not talking 5%. I'm talking about a 1% adjustment in rate. That's not going to happen overnight. I understand that. But a 1% adjustment in rate changes the world. At the same time, probably a 3% adjustment in seller expectation changes the world. So, we're close, and you could be absolutely right. It could be a 6-month deal. But I mean, we're really, really close, I think, to a big shift. I thought we'd be there. I really did. I thought we'd be there by now, and we're not yet. But I don't want you guys to discount or forget. Stuff is happening. And it's happening at a much higher rate than it was 6 months ago. A much, much higher rate. When I talk to agents, they all say the same stuff. Oh yeah, 24 is gonna be a great year. It's starting out way better already. It's gonna be a great year. I'm so much ahead of where I was last year. Okay, what does that mean? Like literally, what the hell does that mean? Half of them are just talking out there. You know what? They're just saying that because they've been trained to say that over and over again. The other half of them actually bring valuable insight to the table. They'll say things like, "Well, I got 4 in my pipeline. That I haven't had that in 6 or 8 months." I'll be right there, Brendan. I see your hand up. I've got 3 listing appointments in the next 3 weeks. I haven't had that in several months. So things are starting to shake up. It's a little bit less wonderful than I predicted, but I will say that, I feel like we're going the right direction. We're right on the edge. We just got to keep working. Brendan, go ahead, and then I'll finish my thought.
No, I was just going to double down on what Brianna was saying. I'm feeling a sentiment out there where people are realizing that this is somewhat of the new normal. They're settling in, and they're going, you know what, we do want to make a move still. And don't forget, there's a lot of people out there that bought 5 to 7 years ago that have a good amount of equity
Sure.
to still offset that move-up property.
Sure.
Also, too, I'm finding people out there that want to make this move, and they have that 2.9%. They go, I'm never getting rid of this. And what they're coming to terms with or figuring out that they can do is that they rent out their property, and they can use 75% of that income to help them qualify for the next move-up property. So there's definitely movement. It's abnormal, I feel like, but it's starting to happen.
Yeah. That's good input. It's out there, and it's getting better, but it's just not as good as I thought it would be, and that's kind of a bummer. It's just not as crazy as I thought it'd be, and that's just kind of a bummer. But I'll also say this: it would be easy at this point to say, well, it didn't work out that way, get frustrated, stop working, do those kinds of things. I think right now is when you really, really double down on your quote unquote farming and prospecting. I think right now is where you ramp it up a little bit and you start talking about the fact that there's good things happening in the market for both buyers and sellers, and that you really think that that's going to transition into something pretty awesome in the next few months, right? Or the next 6 months or whatever. Listings are a long, long project a lot of times, right? And so if you're talking to sellers right now about the fact that you think that a really, really premium time to sell is going to be 6 months, and you can start getting them ready in the process. 6 months to a seller is not that long, guys. I mean, it's a long time for a buyer, but it's not that long to a seller, right? I mean, about the shortest amount of time you can count on for an average listing is a 3.5 month process from the time that the seller says, you know, I think we ought to sell our house, to the time it actually goes onto the market. Okay. It's a long process. So the best thing that you can do, I think, at this point in time is to kind of double down on your contacts, double down on your conversations, and put yourself in positions where you're talking about the future, and I mean the next quarter's worth of future, the future of real estate to either buyers or sellers, right? Start to align yourself with them, start to become their expert, start to become their resource. And then as things loosen up and attitude and news cycles and everything else starts to change, you're really going to reap that. You're going to reap that hard. Okay. Hard. Anybody else? Any questions, thoughts, add-ons, observations, conversations out there, observations in talking to people, comments on your socials, anything?
So,
Today.
can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So just to let you know, being in Tennessee, I do a lot of research because we're looking for a house, right? We've been researching. I'm probably on 15 different areas around the Nashville area, right?
Yeah.
Within an hour, which has gained about 92% increase in value since 2019. Insane. And what we're seeing out here is a lot of price reductions. Inventory's gone up. The builders out here, Richmond American, DR Horton, Meritage, some of the ones that are the same in California, they're all offering huge incentives, like 3.99 interest rate buy down, 10K towards closing costs. So we're seeing it out here too, because it had such a increase of influx of people out here. So
yeah, I mean, Tennessee's bread and butter for a while has been people that wanted to get the hell out of California.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
when real estate stops transacting in California, you guys lose a lot of customers, right? So
Yeah.
I can
Well,
absolutely
people
see
being
that.
called back to work too,
Sure.
But it's not slowing down. Like where my daughter lives, it's like Roseville was 10 years ago. They're putting in shopping malls, industrial. It's insane. So it's not decreasing in value so much, maybe little increments of $5,000, but you're talking home prices in the 400s. So 5,000 decrease maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But more inventory, definitely. Just wanted to chime in on that.
So it's really more like a little bit of a slowdown than a crisis. It's what it sounds like to me, because builders will react to a slowdown a little bit differently than normal people. Builders work on borrowed money, and they just have a little bit different attitude about things. They cannot sit on inventory.
No, especially that, when they have most of these out here have phase 2, 3, or 4, they still have to do. They won't do it. They won't start building till those other ones have sold. In my daughter's neighborhood, there's like, I don't know, they've got probably 25, 30 more to build, but they've got some already built that they keep lowering and offering incentives. They want them off the market that are done, right? Quick move-ins, they call them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
It is interesting.
But definitely a couple $100,000 less than Cali.
You see, you haven't been gone that long. You're already calling it Cali. That's what people from every other state in the country call California.
I know. Yeah, never moving back.
We'll see.
I know, right?
I got my money on it. So, all right. Who else? Anybody else got something to add? This is really good stuff. I appreciate you guys kind of chiming in here. No? All right. So I got a couple of things that you can implement right away to kind of go along with what we're talking about. Number one, I want you to go into the intranet and go onto the left side and find the Reach 150 button and open up Reach 150. Okay. Reach 150 is a review platform. Okay. And I don't want to get you reviewed to death, you know, this all so that all you're doing is reviews, but it is the review platform that syndicates with NextHome's corporate website. Meaning, if you don't have any reviews on Reach 150, your profile on the corporate website will not reflect any reviews. Okay. So the other nice thing about Reach 150 is you can enter your reviews manually. Okay. So you just go to Reach 150, you open it up, you click, I want to add a review, right? And then you cut and paste your reviews from Zillow, you cut and paste your reviews from Google, you cut and paste your reviews from Realtor. Wherever you've got reviews parked, you just cut and paste and cut and paste and submit and cut and paste and submit. And then before you know it, you got 25 Reach 150 reviews, and your profile and your indexing on the NextHome driven website improves 200%. Okay. So that's one. If you haven't done that yet, you want to get on that right away and get that one done. But Damian, why do you know this? Well, one of the things that I was doing based on everything that we're talking about was, well, let me see how our people are syndicating on NextHome's corporate site. You know, so if there's inquiry, what are consumers saying about you guys when they bring it up? And we're review light, right? We're review light. So you guys can do really augment something that way. Okay. I meant to do this for you on screen, but well, I forgot. The other thing is that almost everybody that we've talked to in our office has said at some point in time, I like to do a newsletter. I don't know why you would say that, because it's the most painful thing I can imagine, but some people really, really like to do newsletters. Inside of Bold Trail, not KV Core, Bold Trail, inside of Bold Trail, there is now a NextHome newsletter template. Okay. You can access the template. You can adjust the content. It's got all these blocks preset where you can put images and headlines and blah, 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 blah. You can do all of that in a very, very professional way, and then email it through the mass email function of Bold Trail, KB Core. Newsletters are generally once a month anyways, so it's like a top of the month project or something like that. You would take that template, you would clone it. Don't forget to do that. Clone the template and then edit it the way you want. Clone it, name it February newsletter, and then edit it the way you want. And then you can send out your newsletter through the mass email section in KV Core and hit your sphere with that. Okay. Then the last thing that I would say is this. Does everybody that is here, have you done the work? Have you gotten every piece of data that you have? Every contact that you have? Have you got them uploaded in KV Core, Bold Trail? Do you have them assigned a market report weekly? Do you have them assigned the holiday campaign? Do you have them assigned, if you have their address, is it called listing valuation, seller valuation? I don't remember what it's called. Right side of the screen, 3/4 of the way down, I think it's listing valuation. Do you have them assigned that going out once a month? Do you have them assigned to any other campaigning that you might want to add independently? Those are what I just said to you: market report every 7 days, listing valuation every month, holiday campaign. Those are the ones that everybody in my book of business gets, period, every time. Then are they synced to Real Scout? Are they getting Real Scout nurture? Okay. Do that work. Get that done. Have it set up to that level so that KV Core, Bold Trail, is doing what it should be doing for you. If not, you're just leaving money on the table. You're absolutely leaving money on the table. You're leaving money on the table that you don't even know you're leaving on the table. Okay. Does everybody here have that nailed down? Give me thumbs up, thumbs down, nod up, nod down, anything. Alan, I know we're working on yours. We haven't gotten there yet. Everybody else? Caron, where you at? Good. Brianna, where you at? Good. Mediocre. Okay. All right. Good. Guys, it is so powerful and so important that you have that done. It is so powerful and so important that you stay front of mind, that we develop that association between your name and real estate. Social media is important. Yes. KV Core is important. Yes. They're all important because they speak to different people, right? They speak to different people. So do those action items. Reach 150. Okay. That's a must. Newsletter, if you're a newsletter type of guy or gal, you can do that. You really want to. I wouldn't spend any time on that until Reach 150 was done and my database and that minimum kind of reporting stuff was done. Okay. The weather's getting nicer. The little bulbs are popping up in the yard. Like I said, we're only a half a step away from really, really big things happening. You have to be in front of people now. You have to plant those seeds right now, right? Be ahead of the curve. Do the work and be ahead of the curve. And refer an agent or two while you're doing all that. That would be great. See how I slipped that in there? Okay. 46. What do we got? Anybody got anything to add? Questions, comments, anything like that?
For your core present, you forgot to talk about your core present booklets. Core
Yeah,
present booklet.
Michael. So gold stars for Michael. You need to have generic core present booklets, blank buyer presentations. You need to have 3 or 4 of them just like bound, ready to go, sitting in your car, sitting in your office, sitting somewhere, so that when you run across somebody, and you can have blank seller ones too with no property address, although they're a little harder to make. But when you run across somebody and you start talking about real estate, you can say, this is how I do it, and just completely blow their mind. Completely blow their mind, right? Absolutely, positively huge point, Michael. Michael, what else did I forget? Come on, bring it.
Something about calling people, picking up the phone, and talking to people.
I'm not going to go there today. You know how I feel about that. I'm not going to go there today. I'm talking about all the electronic stuff today. Absolutely, positively, yes. Quit being lazy. Pick up the phone and freaking call somebody. Absolutely. 5 people a day, every day, no matter what. Call them, text them, do whatever you want to do. Don't let them forget that you're alive. Yes. Talk about baseball, football, soccer, whatever. Don't talk about real estate. That's the other part of it. Don't call anybody and say, how's real estate? Don't do that. Just don't. Absolutely anything but real estate. I'm going to play golf with a top recruiter in top performer in like 3 weeks. I really want him to come over. I don't know that he will, but I really want him to come over. It's a long shot. Do you guys know how I got him to go? You're gonna love it. I go, hey man, let's get out there. And he goes, yeah, let's do it. And I go, hey man, just so you know, anytime somebody says the word real estate or realtor, it's a penalty stroke. He's all in. He's like, this guy's not going to recruit me. Like, I'm all for it. Yeah. Okay. So when you're reaching out and you're talking to, potential sphere members or people in your sphere of influence, your book of business, you're talking about anything, just don't talk about real estate. It'll come up all by itself. I promise. They all know what you do, right? It'll come up. Okay. Good points. Anything else? Caron, you're quiet today. Everything all right? It's still muted.
Long day.
Long day. Yeah,
Very, very long day.
I'm with you. I'm so with you. I'm gonna go home and it's gonna be over.
Yeah, I'm done. And my dogs are just barking nonstop out there. And I think my daughter just came home. Like, I don't even want to open the door.
No, you know what? Just stay locked in there for a while. Pretend you're on a Zoom and just have some you time.
Right? This is where I'm at.
All right, guys. Good to see you. And call me if you need me. I will. Oh no, my sticker's covering the in button. Hold on. See, it's been one of those days. I will see you all soon. Go sell some real estate.